Welcome to Stayf Draws. I'm Stefan de Groot, a Dutch artist, and in this video I'm going to do a tutorial on how to paint the water lilies of Claude Monet in Procreate. I've studied a lot of the paintings and especially the water lily paintings, and I learned a lot on how he built up his paintings. And in this video I'm just going to use my own reference pictures and paint in the style of Claude Monet. It's also available on my Gumroad as a long video, and that's in real time. And this is just a little excerpt of that video. A while back I painted this painting of Pan, and I needed some reference material for water lilies, and this is not that exciting as the garden of Monet, but I took some pictures in the neighborhood of water lilies, and I'm going to use these pictures to paint a new painting of water lilies. And here you really can see the reflection of what's going on top, because it's an upside down world. And I don't like the background here, so I'm going to use another picture, and here's more of an overview. And you're looking down onto the water lilies, so the perspective or the horizon is way up on top, so you won't see it. We're just going to concentrate on this part. And interesting thing about water lilies is that they clutter together in groups and then they spread out. And I'm going to use this as the reflection, and the sun is coming from the right or behind the trees a little bit, and I'm going to use this reflection and paint the water lilies on top of the reflection. So I'm going to open up Procreate, make an A4 size paper, and that's a default. Gonna rotate it. What I'm going to do is do a split screen. So swipe up, then drag your photos to the left or to the right if you're right-handed, to the left, when you left-handed to the right. And I'm first going to use this picture, and it's also included in the folder, so you can download it to your photos. I'm just going to use this as a reference. And what I'm going to do is turn the canvas upside down. That's a little trick. And I'm just going to paint this side of the picture. And I'm going to use the Stayf Cezanne and also use the Claude Monet colors. So this is the border. I like this Cezanne brush because it's built up from different brushes, so you can really build up your colors quickly. I'm now going to turn it around, and now you have an upside down world. Gonna add a new layer, and with that layer I'm going to paint the water lilies. Just going to use this as a reference to paint on top of the background. The light is now coming from the left because I turned the painting around, but I'm just going to use these water lilies, and you can see that they're grouped together and then they waver out. And I'm just going to use these perspective lines. You can set it to drawing assist, but we're not going to do it because then every stroke you make, it will set it to the perspective guide, and I just want to use it as a reference. I'm going to use a different brush for painting the water lilies, and that's the Stayf Oil Round. So I'm just going to start out with these colors, and the background is a little bit too bright. So when you paint with this color, you know, you really cannot see it. So I first have to make this layer a multiply layer, and I'm just going to use a different brush, you know, to create more of a layered color piece. And I'm going to use the Stayf Scatter, and because it is set to multiply, I'm just going to apply light colors on top of it, and that will make it darker. Just gonna leave this. Gonna create a new layer, and that's going to be the layer for the water lilies. And I'm gonna use this reference image to start painting the water lilies. What you can see is that they're really cluttered, and then they waver out. I'm just gonna use this perspective guide to paint the water lilies. I'm gonna use the Stayf Oil Round, and I'm just going to use this green and just start painting the water lilies, or the leaves of the water lilies. They're a little bit smaller because there is a perspective to this, and first going to clutter them. When they come closer to you, the water lilies will become bigger because that's the perspective. And they will get more sun up here. It's all about contrast because the lower part is a little bit lighter. So you need to find ways, you know, to keep the contrast going. And when they're, you know, closer to the border of the river or the pond, they'll become darker. Because here the sun isn't shining on the water lilies. Now I'm going to add another layer, and I'm now finally going to paint the water lily flowers. And it's going to be an opposite color. You also have harmony colors, and then you can choose between complementary, split complementary, analogous, triadic, and tetradic. But the Impressionists used the complementary color scheme. And when you just select, I'm just going to select the pure color. The opposite of green is pink. That's why Monet most of the time use the very pink or the violet kind of water lilies, because it builds a nice contrast. So this is how you can paint the water lily paintings of Claude Monet in Procreate. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. There's also a longer version, and that's in real time. And I'll leave a link below this video. It's available on my Gumroad. Drawing is fun, and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!